Going home today. You look so much like Alex, but with hair. What did you say?
What?
About Target?
Just got out of the hospital. You already want to go to Target? You barely can walk. You still waddling?
Those are mine.
My quays? You like my quays?
My quays.
Is it right? One right here. Quay.
It's key.
Q-A-Y. Quay. Hey! Yeah.
Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing the 2-week baby update. I was supposed to do a 1-week baby update, but I just never got around to it, to be honest with you. It's been a little bit hard getting some energy and time to sit down and just film this video, but I finally made time today and I finally feel good enough to talk about what's been going on. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, or if you guys didn't watch my birth vlog, you guys haven't seen Luka. So this is baby Luka right here. We named him Luka Marcelo, and we named him Luka because that was one of the names that we agreed on. That was just a name that we're like, yes, let's do it. So we spelled Luka with a K, and then we went with Marcelo because my son Alex was actually going to be Marcelo, but at the last minute I decided to go with Alexander. And I just always, it's not that I regret it, but I always, you know, every time I heard the name Marcelo, I'm like, oh, I love that name. So I always knew that in case I had another baby boy, I would name him Marcelo. So that's how we got Luka Marcelo. And it was very important to us that we chose that we choose names for our kids that can be pronounced in English and in Spanish. So for example, some of our family members don't speak English back in El Salvador and in Guatemala, which is where we're from. So it's very important to us that they are able to pronounce the kids' names with no problem. So that's why we went with Luka Marcelo, because it's the same in English and in Spanish. He came at 38 weeks and he was 7 pounds 8 ounces 19.5 inches, and he was born June 15th at 12:50 p.m. and it was just such an easy labor compared to my first labor with my son. My first delivery was terrible. It was super long, very painful. I was induced because of preeclampsia both times, and this time around it was just so different. I was induced. If you guys have been following me, you guys would know that. And I was induced due to preeclampsia, high blood pressure. So we go in on Thursday, June 14th at 5:30 p.m. was when I was scheduled to go in and get induced. Well, when we got to the hospital, they told us, the staff told us that we had to come back in an hour because all the rooms were full. They didn't have any clean rooms. And we came back home. My dad was able to fly in from California and stay with Alex while we were in the hospital, so we were able to spend some time with my husband and with my son and my dad before I had to go back to the hospital. We got some in and out, and then we went back to the hospital, and we were able to get everything going right away. They admitted us, and the first thing they did was just hook me up to the IVs or to the IV, and we got going. So they put in the cytocone around 9:45-ish. So the nurses told me that with cytocone I wasn't expected to go into labor right away. Some people take 2 doses to go into labor, some people take just 1, but she just said that it was just to get labor, like to give it a kickstart, and then they were going to start Pitocin. So around 9:45 they put in the cytocone, and they actually put the pill in my cervix instead of taking it orally. So they put it in my cervix, and around 11-ish, 11:30, 12, I started to feel mild contractions, and they were still tolerable, like I could still take them. Around 1:15 a.m. my water broke on its own, which I was so happy, because with Alex, with my first baby, the doctor had to break my water, and it was just, I feel like it was just so painful. So it was nice that my water broke on its own. I woke up and I told the nurse that my water broke. They did have to start Pitocin on me as well, and after that the contractions just started getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and they predicted that I would have a baby by noon. And sure enough, I was able to go to sleep. I did get the epidural because I just felt like I needed the epidural. So like around 6 a.m. I woke up because the contractions were just so strong, and the nurse came in and she's like, I don't know why you went this long without the epidural. You should probably just get it now, because the stronger the contractions get, the harder it is to sit still while they're, you know, trying to put in the needle and all that stuff. So I was planning on getting it anyway, so I was like, yeah, you know what, might as well just get it now. That way I can just be comfortable, get some rest, and when it's time to push, it's time to push. So I went to sleep once I got the epidural, and I did so much better with the epidural this time around. Like, I remember the first time I was just so nervous. I remember I couldn't sit still. I was just like moving and shaking. So this time I was able to just kind of hold it together and just be good. And so after that, I went to sleep. I took like a short nap, and then I woke up and I could only feel the epidural on one side of it. Only my left side was numb. I could still feel everything on my right side, and I could still feel contractions on my right side. So I woke up like around 12, I think, or no, actually, sorry, I woke up like around 11:30, and I needed to push, but I didn't have enough strength to push. So we had to stop, and the nurse was like, you know what, just take a break, I'll come back and we can push again. So again, like maybe about an hour later, I decided to wake up again and start pushing. So I started to push, and in 30 minutes Luka was born at 12:50 p.m. So it was just a complete, oh, his eyes are open. Are you gonna join us? Are you awake? And he was just born, and everything was just great after that. I was walking around after a few minutes, which was just so crazy because it was so not like this with Alex. It was just definitely not like this. It was honestly, my first labor and delivery was just so traumatizing. I was terrified going into labor with him because I couldn't do that. I don't think if this labor would have been the way it was with Alex, I don't think I would be open to having any more kids. Like, I think I would be done. We do plan on having a third baby just because that's what we want. We're not necessarily trying for a girl. I know I get asked that question a lot, but we're not trying for a girl. We just want 3 kids. So if this labor would have been like the first one, there's no way I would be saying, oh yeah, we're gonna have 3 kids. I would definitely be done. So yeah, that was it for the labor. He latched on right away for breastfeeding. However, after a while, it wasn't working out, so I had to move on to a nipple shield, which was okay because I did that with Alex anyway. So I got him to latch with the nipple shield, and he was feeding, everything was good. But then he kind of became disorganized as you know, the older he got. And I don't know, it wasn't working out. So then I decided, okay, for whatever reason, I decided it was a good idea to take him off the nipple shield, and it worked out. Everything was great for the next 2 days that we were in the hospital. He was feeding without the nipple shield. I used to get the lactation consultants. I took full advantage of the lactation consultants while I was there. So we were discharged on June 17th, which was Father's Day, and we came home. And as soon as we got home, breastfeeding was a completely different story. It was just impossible. It became extremely, extremely, extremely painful. And I was talking to some of my friends, and they told me that it could be a possible lip tie or tongue tie. And I mean, I've never really seen that before, so I didn't really know how to tell. So I made an appointment the next day with a lactation consultant, and I went in, and she said that she didn't see any problems with his tongue, and he was asleep most of the time anyway, so it was really hard for her to even see anyway. And the next day we were going to have his appointment with the pediatrician anyway, so I was going to have him take a look. And when we got to his appointment, his weight was actually really low. It went down to 6.9, so 6 pounds 9 ounces. And the doctor was like, okay, we're at a point where it's kind of a gray area and we need to do something about it, so you're gonna have to supplement with a bottle. And I felt, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly felt really discouraged and really down, because breastfeeding was something that I really, or nursing was something that I really, really, really wanted to do. I really wanted him to latch and to just be on the breast. And you know, the doctor gave me this like huge speech on why I shouldn't beat myself up and all that. But you know, he brought up a good point, and he said, you know, nursing can be seen as trendy nowadays because of social media, and if you don't nurse, you know, then you get mommy shamed. He's like, so don't let that get in the way of you feeding your child or supplementing with a bottle. Don't let that be the reason why you feel guilty. And so I said, you know what, you're right. I did supplement Alex with the bottle. I pumped for like 3 months straight, and it's something that I said I can do this again. It's no problem. So at that point, my priority became Luka's weight. We had to make sure that Luka's weight was where it needed to be. His jaundice levels were kind of high, so we had to make sure that those were normal again, and we had to take a bilirubin test, so they had to do some blood work on him, and those were high too, so they were kind of, you know, up there. So we had to make sure that he was caught up. So after that, I came home and I just started to pump right away, and I started to feed him right away out of a bottle. Luckily, my insurance provided me with a free pump, like a Medela pump, and it's been a lifesaver, honestly. Like, I wish I would have had that pump before when I had Alex. I think I would have breastfed a little bit longer. And we just started to see a change in him right away. As soon as we started to feed him with the bottle, everything was just night and day. He was a completely different baby, and now he's up to 8 pounds. So he's been improving so much, and that's my priority right now. I'm a slave to the breast pump, but that's okay. As long as he's fed, that's all that matters. As long as he's healthy, that's all that matters. So eventually we're going to try and latch him again and see if he'll be able to latch. But if he doesn't, then he doesn't. It'll be fine. I'm just not going to beat myself up about it anymore like I was in the beginning. But yeah, he's fine, and we've been doing great. He smiles. His belly button came off, so he was able to have his first bath a few days ago. My son Alex is actually really happy to be a big brother. He wants to help. Whenever he hears Luka crying, the first thing he wants to do is pick up a bottle and like hold him, and he'll start singing a lullaby or start like reading a book. And it's cute. I'm really happy that my son he's smiling. I'm really happy that my son is happy to be a big brother. I was really worried about that. Actually, no, I wasn't really worried about him not being a good brother. I was just worried that it was going to be a huge change for him. he is trying to fight for our attention, which is normal. So we're kind of dealing with that and just trying to make sure that he feels, you know, that he's still important, that just because there's a new baby doesn't mean he's not important. So it's been a little bit hard to entertain him without giving him complete access to the TV all day, which we had to do that for a little bit. And it's understandable because, you know, there's a new baby, I was on bed rest and everything, so I felt bad. So we are trying to make some time for him, just like one-on-one time. My husband will take him out to like Chuck E. Cheese, to the movie theater or something, and once I'm a little bit more settled, then I will be able to take him out as well. Luka's not really sleeping through the night. He'll wake up 2 to 3 times at night for, you know, to be fed. So I'm on straight up zombie mode. I am super tired, living off coffee, and you know, I'm constantly pumping too, so it's been hard. I'm still a little bit tired and I'm still trying to figure it all out. And my husband went back to work too, so it's been a challenge getting used to having 2 babies. So that's it for this update. Let me know if you guys want to see any more baby updates, like monthly ones. I don't think I'm going to do weekly ones, obviously, but I can do definitely monthly updates if you guys are interested in that. I do have a few videos coming up as far as postpartum must-haves for moms, and also baby gear for babies, like my must-haves. And since it's the second time around that I'm doing this, I can kind of see what was useful the first time around and what we didn't use this time. So let me know if you guys want to see that as well, and let me know if you guys want to see something about exclusively pumping. I know that a lot of people don't really talk about pumping, they only talk about like breastfeeding and stuff like that. But if you guys are interested in seeing videos on exclusively pumping, let me know. I will be more than happy to do that, because it'll also encourage me to keep pumping and not give up, because it is really, you know, you're a slave to your pump. So let me know if you guys want to see that as well. I'll also keep you guys updated on the nursing situation, like if we go and start nursing with him, I'll let you guys know if we're doing pumping and nursing at the same time. I don't think he has a tongue tie issue, because he is able to stick out his tongue all the way past his mouth, which is what the doctor told me needed to happen. And also because we were so concerned about his weight, the doctor was like, I'm not even worried about the tongue tie right now. We need to get him to where he needs to be, especially if he's not nursing. There's no reason why, you know, we should even worry about that right now. So if I do see that he doesn't take a bottle or anything like that, then we'll definitely talk about it. But he takes the bottle super well. He drinks out of the bottle like no problem. So I'm not concerned about the tongue tie issue. And if he doesn't latch, like I said, there's no problem. I don't mind supplementing with the bottle, or just feeding him with the bottle and exclusively pumping for as long as I can. So yeah. Anyway, that concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time here. Make sure your notifications are on so that you never miss a video. I do have a lot of mommy videos, like I said, coming up, and you will definitely be seeing this little person in the vlogs. It's crazy how much he looks like Alex, but he's so different at the same time. He looks so much like Alex when he was a baby, but Alex's hair was so light, he looked bald, and Luka just has so much hair, and he's just so, his hair is so dark. So it's funny how many similarities and how many differences they have. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.